Welcome to Paperback Perspectives, a podcast about books, where your hosts, Ryne, Kailen, and Annette, give you their perspectives on all things reading. Cozy up in your favorite book nook and let's dive in.
Welcome back to Chapter 4, Paperback Perspectives. Today we're going to look at what we've been reading, what we're currently reading, have a little recasting of a favorite book/movie, and review some indie bookstores.
Yeah. Should we do some life updates first?
Absolutely.
Kailen, I'm volunteering you to go first.
Okay, so I guess I started an adult major move. I started my job. Woo! On Monday, I actually get paid to do things, which is crazy. I have to get over the feeling of like, I don't have some third party overseeing me. I don't want you to hear my breathing.
No, you're fine.
I have third party like overseeing my, like, I know
Coming
that I have a
off of
supervisor,
your
but like
year of
yeah,
clinicals.
there's not somebody elsewhere that's like
You're the
overseeing
growing up
me.
now.
Yeah, like I had to sign a note today. Was like, does anybody want to read this first? Like, and my supervisor was like, nope, I trust you. It's fine. You just sign it. So, anyways, started a job.
You're a doctor. That's crazy.
Of physical therapy.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
still, you're a doctor.
Yeah.
That's really
Of
cool.
physical therapy.
That's really cool.
I also started a sourdough. We did. Mom and I
We
started
did.
a sourdough. They
Adventure.
are Ellen and Myrtle. I have Myrtle.
Wait, what?
Our sourdoughs have names because
Yeah.
sourdoughs go on forever. Like you just keep
They're alive.
taking
They're
some
alive,
out and
yeah.
you feed them and then you keep reusing and it goes on. So mine is Ellen.
And mine is Myrtle. Those are her grandmother's names.
Those are my grandmother's names.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like I've been really, really embracing my granny hobbies, so I feel like that makes sense.
What other granny hobbies have you been busy with?
Crocheting, reading books, baking with sourdough,
Pickleball.
pickleball.
Big time gram activity.
Yep.
Well done. Well, good embracing right there.
Thank you. Yeah. That's my update. I don't really have anything else.
Nice.
How about you?
Not a whole heck of a lot. Your year is the year of the yard, Mom. Mine's the year of boringness, I think, because we just went to the lake. The weather was not cooperative, so we didn't do the projects that we had planned. But we went to the lake, relaxed. I read a lot at the lake, which was really good because I was in a bit of a funk with one of my books, which we'll talk about later, but I was able to get back into it. Rainy days are really helpful with that.
I love that feeling, like when you're at home, at the lake, wherever, and it's either like stupid hot, like it has been here, or raining, or I guess in the winter, stupid cold, and you have to be inside. Like, you don't feel guilty for reading on the couch when it's like, I should be outside.
No, it was perfect because Lauren and I could not be more opposite in what we want to do for fun. Lauren wants to be doing things and being active and stuff, which I like doing that, but at the same time, I can plant my ass on a couch for 10 hours and read no problem. And my mother-in-law's like that. So there was one night where it was raining and the weather was kind of and Michelle and I just sat in silence and probably just read for like an hour and a half, and it was just pure bliss. It was awesome. And then every now and then one of us would kind of go, and we'd like close our books, and then we would like fill each other in real quick. And then we just go right back to reading. And it was just amazing. And it was perfect.
That sounds lovely. That
It
was
was
kind of us
awesome.
at the lake, too.
That was, yeah.
Except Karen.
For people who are not from North Dakota or Minnesota, when we say the lake, here that just means people went to a lake. Because when I first moved here for a long time, I was like, where is this lake that everybody goes to? Like, how big is this lake? And then I learned saying that you're at the lake isn't necessarily any one singular. So, for example,
We're at Maple Lake.
we were at Maple Lake, and Kailen and I spent a few days at Big Sucker Lake. So
Great name.
saying you're at the lake, for people that don't know,
I've never realized that that's a thing that
that's because
somebody
you
would
grew
do.
up here. I'm an import. You grew up here, so I had to adjust to that. So there's that.
Yeah, there's always the question like, oh, we're at the lake. The follow-up question is, what lake? And then there's so many different lakes where you haven't like heard of that one. You're like, Oh, yeah.
There's also many people who will say my lake,
Yeah.
as in the entire lake belongs to
That is
them.
my lake.
Yeah.
And there's also several maple lakes too, right?
Yeah.
There's several of
multiple
all
There's
lakes
a
in
couple.
Minnesota.
You-
I
you
think
run
they
out of
forget.
names.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 10,000. It takes a while.
Yeah.
I mean, you run out of names.
Big
Or then you do
Sucker
Big
is
Sucker Lake, Little
part of the
Sucker Lake,
place, yeah.
West Sucker Lake,
We did.
Third Sucker Lake.
Third?
There's a third Sucker
It's
Lake.
true. It's true.
Yeah.
Why are they called Sucker Lakes?
We don't
don't
know
know.
because there's not
just
leeches
suckers.
there. There's not. I think they just ran out of names and we're like, Sucker Lake.
Yeah.
So
Because the suckers live there.
yeah.
So lake life is good. Working's going real well. I'm about to put my pickup up for sale, which is really exciting. I'm about to get the.
Is this your little version of Facebook Marketplace right
Yep.
here?
So if anyone wants to buy a 2011 GMC Sierra, let me know.
It's in great shape and works fantastic.
Yeah, comments are flowing in right now. A lot of people are interested. We'll sort that out later.
It does run really well, and there's just cosmetic things. Everything else I think is totally fine, as far as I know. But I'm not a car person. And then I'm old, and slow pitch softball hurts my body. I played last night. We played 2 games, and I was at work today with a pretty noticeable limp, and my shoulder is killing me.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
But I'm old.
Oh,
so
we got
it's
a
fine.
birthday coming up next week. This is the turning point to oldness.
I know. Lauren doesn't ever cease to be like, "You're going to be 28. You're old." And I'm like, "That's really reassuring. Thank you. Appreciate that."
Well, we won't talk about that being old, but
Anyway, that's my life update.
well, I can wrap mine into yours. The year of the yard isn't going so great. We have a pocket gopher infestation and the weeds are slightly taking over. So the year of the yard is a little warlike right now, but we're working on it.
Any exterminators in the audience knows how to get rid of a pocket?
I'll trade
gopher?
you a pickup for a pocket gopher.
Okay, hold on.
Kailen and I also were at the lake for a few days with really good friends, and 3 of the 4 of us were readers, and I'll share one of those
Hey,
recommendations.
Karen
in a
read
little bit.
a
she
book.
She read some pages, so we'll go with that.
She's been working on one for 2 years.
What book? The Bible?
I don't know.
A Patricia Cornwell book. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a running joke between us that her book just moves. It doesn't really get read.
But I can appreciate your idea of sometimes just it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. You can just lose yourself in the book and read for a while you're in those relaxing settings.
Yeah. So should we segue then into the books that we finished?
Yeah. Do you want to do the recommendations from Cindy first? And
I will. I have 2
Tracy?
recommendations from one from listener and friend of ours, Tracy, who's been awesome at sharing information and ideas. And she shared the book Beartown as a recommendation by Frederick Bachman.
I'm so excited to read that.
And
It's been on my list forever.
Kailen and I found a bookstore we'll talk about in a little bit where we bought it recently. Or
This one was Thrift
this
Books.
one I got from Thrift Books. So Tracy recommends Beartown by Frederick Bachman. You want to read?
He
a
also
blurb
has
for us, Ryne?
a man called Ova.
It's just Ove. I
think it's Ove.
Ove.
I think it's Ove.
I think so too.
Anyways.
There's a movie based off of that book with Tom Hanks called A Man Called Otto.
Yeah.
Is
Do you want
that
to read
movie?
us the blurb?
Sure. A tiny community deep in the forest, Beartown hasn't been the best at anything in a long time, but down by the lake stands an old ice rink. And in that ice rink, Kevin, Amat, Benji, and the rest of the town's junior ice hockey team are about to compete in the national semifinals. And they actually have a shot at winning. All the hopes and dreams of this place now rest on the shoulders of a handful of teenage boys. Under that heavy burden, the semifinal match becomes the catalyst for a violent act that will leave a young girl traumatized and a town in turmoil. This is a story about a town and a game, but even more about loyalty, commitment, the responsibilities of friendship, the people we disappoint even though we love them, and the decisions we make every day that come to define us. In this story of a small forest town, Frederick Bachman has found the entire world. Tom, actually, who's an English teacher, but my best friend, he recommended this to me years ago. And ever since he mentioned it to me, it's been on my list. I've just never gotten
It
it.
is like consistently on TikTok or Instagram posts top 5 out of 5 reads.
Yep.
And everybody just says, like Tracy said, I know, like it's just a good story.
Yes.
And
There's really well written characters are
Yeah.
really good. So I'm very excited to
also
read
being
this.
from a small town, I've heard is kind of, you get that perspective from the story here is in a small town. So you
Class
can
B
kind of,
world. Here we are.
Yeah.
All right. And the second recommendation is from our friend Cindy, who we were with at the lake. And she finished this while she was there and said she was just kind of blown away by this book. And it is Go as a River by Shelley Reed. And the summary on this says, set amid the beauty and wilderness of the Colorado mountains, an unforgettable and deeply moving story of a young woman who follows her heart.
And Cindy again just said like the writing of this book was her favorite part. Everything was so vivid and again, just a good story.
Is it fiction?
Yes.
Okay.
It's
I
one
couldn't
of
tell if
the-
it was like a bio or a memoir or something.
One of the best book covers I've ever seen. That is beautiful. It's so simple. Sorry. That's my contribution since I don't read quite as much.
It's a peach.
Nice.
It's a peach
It's peachy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Sam.
All right. So those are our recommendations. If anybody else has some and you want to email or
Yeah.
get in touch with us on socials in any other way, we'll continue sharing. And Tracy and Cindy want to share more, we'll
I'm always ready to add more
keep
TV
adding more
to
on.
my
Michelle,
TBR.
Michelle needs to give us her recommendations.
She's currently reading a book by Jodi Picoult, which I think is how you pronounce her last name. Picoult. And it's a story about a child who has autism, I believe, and he does something bad, but like doesn't realize it until the next day. Like I think he hit someone with his car, but it was like really rainy, and he didn't realize like it was a person. He thought it was like a deer, and then it's like the struggle between like they know it's him, but like they want to do the right thing, but they want to do right by their child who has like a disability. And
Sounds really heavy.
she says she can relate to it a lot because she has a son with autism. And she says she writes it in such a vivid way and is such a good description of like what that child would be thinking in that moment and like their view on the world. And she said that it just is so real. The way
Sounds
that
like
it
a
was
book
written.
that'll make you cry.
Yeah.
That's what it's sounding like.
Yeah. Very heavy, very emotional.
Yeah.
Yep.
So those were our recommendations from
Yeah.
listeners.
Do you want to go with what you currently are reading then? Or what you have read?
What I have read? Well, last time we talked, I was reading Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis, and I finished that. I liked that story a lot. It's a unique one. There's this little science geek in me that loved, if you don't know the story, the main character is a scientist who is struggling to be seen as a female in the 50s in the world of science professionally, and that isn't working, and she ends up hosting a cooking show where she incorporates science and empowers people who are watching.
I think that sounds really, really good.
I think you would like it. I also
And you've mentioned that you looked on the Netflix special and said it doesn't look like it totally follows the story.
I read the synopsis of the episodes
I
on
think
there,
it's Apple.
and they didn't match
Okay.
the story. Like the storyline didn't follow, and so I was like, no, I'll stick to the book.
Yeah.
The second one I finished was Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, which is one of Kaylin's favorites. And that's just a happy, funny love story.
It's so good.
It's a really cute story. It really gave me good insight. One of the main characters has anxiety, and when you were talking about Michelle's reading about people, it made me understand that kind of mindset a little bit differently than I had before. And it's just a really sweet story.
It
of
also
people.
kind of made me be like, maybe I have some social anxiety. Like
Yeah.
with how the author was describing it, I was
Yeah.
like,
We talked
I
about
do
that. Yeah.
I feel like I should read this book because I definitely do.
It's a very
Have
sweet romance story. It's like a Hallmark movie in a book.
It's so cute.
I love me a good Hallmark movie.
There you
They're
go.
all the same and they're sappy and dumb, but
It's
I
not the
can't-
same though. There
I
are
can't get
little
enough.
twists that are different.
There are some twists in it.
Yeah.
And I will get it to you next. It's being borrowed right now.
Ugh.
I want everyone to read this.
Your
book.
your grandma is reading it, so
Yeah.
when she's done, you can have it.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, Shirley.
Yeah. And then the last one that I finished was Wayward by Amelia Hart. And this is one of my favorite covers. Sam liked the other cover, and I love this cover of Wayward. And this had a slow start. It took me a while to get into it. We were with Cindy. If I hadn't been with Cindy at the time, She told me, keep reading. You'll like it. She'd read it. Keep reading, keep reading. And I will say from the start, the writing is beautiful. It pulls you into a world
Atmospheric.
It's very atmospheric. It looks like it's a story that's a fantasy magic, but it's more the story of like witches in the way of like witches aren't flying and on brooms and casting spells. The witches are like herbal,
like
healers.
Salem witches.
Yes, and there's the theme of someone being tried as a witch, and it's the healers, the connected with nature idea of witchcraft, not SJM.
Hocus pocus.
Yes, not that. So that's what I've read, and my current is a throwback to when Sam gave us the judge a book by its cover, and one of them was The Keeper of Lost Things by Ruth Hogan, and I got that for my birthday after we talked about it on the podcast from my mom, and I'm probably 2/3 of the way through, and it is just a lovely story of friendship and connections and really understanding people and what they need.
So you chose that one and not the Halo book I showed you.
Can you believe that,
segment?
Sam? I know.
It's
I know.
crazy.
All right.
It is
Sam,
crazy.
I saw your Halo sweatshirt and actually was like, oh, I should get that book to read it. Like, it reminded me of it because I wanted to get it since then.
You know, I did not get that one for my birthday, but you're welcome to read Keeper of Lost
Well,
Things.
my birthday's coming up, so...
All right, that's mine.
Nice.
Is it my turn then?
Yep.
So I finished 3 books as well. My first one was an audiobook that I finished because I mentioned before when Dad was on that I didn't think I could get into audiobooks, but then...
Think again. Wow.
But I listened to my headphones. Like, I have my headphones all day, every day at work. So I was like, I might as well give it a shot. So I read or listened to an old Star Wars book that I had read when I was in probably middle school, early high school. What?
I hit the table. It's fine.
Oh, I thought you were making fun of me for being a nerd again.
Cut all this. This is garbage.
Dribble.
Rude. Anyway, it was, I give it a 3.5 out of 5 just because there was a lot of politics in it, which made it hard for me to follow in like an audio format. Like some was good, but it was just kind of like slow moving at some points, but it was still a good story. And like I knew the characters and everything. It was just, it was fine. It was a fine book, but it got me into audiobooks. So then I listened to The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides.
I have always said Alex Michaelides.
By Alex.
Yeah.
The Silent
Alex
Patient
M.
by Alex M. And it was fantastic. I finished it. I think I read probably about half of it in one day, and then I finished the other half the next day. But I had like an hour left before we were going to leave to drive home, which is an hour drive. And I had to listen to it during the drive. And there was points where I had to like pause it because like the twist happens, the realization happens. And you're like,
Did you gasp?
I did.
It was a gasp.
I literally paused it and just sat in silence for like 5 minutes
The
while I
Silent
wrapped
Patient.
my brain. Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Really, really good book. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I'm hesitant to give things a 5 out of 5. Just, I don't know why. But
Because then what if something comes along that's better?
I know, but then I guess it's a 6 out of 5 or whatever.
There could be more than one 5-star read.
I know.
Yeah.
But I also am hesitant to 5-star.
Really good. I really liked it. And it kind of hooked me on audiobooks. But I've found out, because I have Spotify Premium, and they have a stupid thing where they limit you to 15 hours per month. And so those 2 books literally equaled like 3 minutes less than 15 hours a month.
What if you would have had like 5 minutes of the book left and
Right?
your 15
Like, that's
hours
what I'm
ran
saying.
out?
Like, that's a really...
And this is
they
when
don't
you-
tell you how much you have left. Like,
And
you
this
have
is
to
when you're
track it.
paying for Spotify?
Yeah, I'm paying for Spotify Premium, and it says the book is included in Premium, but it doesn't tell you like how much you have left.
It seems
So-
silly that they don't just give you the book.
Right. Whatever
then-
the book is,
Yeah.
is how long you have.
Yeah, but whatever. So I'm trying to find other audiobook platforms, and I know we've talked about the Libro FM one. There's Audible, obviously. I need to try Libby, but the last time I did it didn't accept my library card.
I think you have to update your library card because you got
Probably.
it when you
Do
were
you
like
still have that green one?
from when you were like 9.
No,
Oh, you don't
Okay.
have the green and white one?
no,
with
it's the purplish, pinky one or whatever.
I would stop
Yeah.
in there one day when you can and talk to them and get an update.
I'll figure it out. So I'm looking for other audiobook platforms. So if you have any recommendations, let me know. And then I finished Caliban's War by James A. Corey, which was that sci-fi one I was reading last time. That was the one I was stuck on for a while. I don't know why, because once I got back into it, it was still really good. So like, I don't know why I stopped.
Sometimes that happens.
It just like kind of sat there for a while. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Again, a lot more politics in this one than like space fighting, which I wanted to see space fighting and lasers. So it was just a little bit slower, but it was good.
Okay.
I'm gonna read the third one eventually, but I'm not in a rush. It's kind of my where I'm at with that series. I currently am reading 2 books. I started Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson today. Shout out to everyone that's recommended this to me, especially Kevin Kilbride, Nicole's husband. We went out to dinner with them.
That's fun.
He's a big nerd like me, so shout out Kevin.
Nice.
We went out to dinner with them a couple weeks ago, and he was like raved about this book.
I have that book upstairs in a different cover.
Which cover do you like better?
I don't know.
No,
Maybe mine.
yours is more stylish.
This looks older.
Yeah, mine is more
Yeah,
like
this is an older
styly,
Yeah,
stylized version.
Kalen's like silhouetted over a sun, I think, or something like that.
Over a like city.
Mine's just a badass looking chick. But it's I started it today, read it down and back from work.
There it is.
It was really good, really engaging. I read 80 pages. Really unique magic system, which is interesting. I'll explain more once I get further into the book, but it might be spoilery, so we'll see.
Okay.
But really, really liking it so far. And then I'm started listening to Never Lie by Frida McFadden today.
Everybody's reading my recommendation.
Well, they're good recommendations. And that was a little bit slower at the beginning, kind of like building the premise, and then all of a sudden, like I found myself short of breath, and I was just like,
slams you with it.
"What's happening? Oh my god!" And then there was a realization where I'm like, "Oh my god!" But then it's like, "Is it really?"
No spoilers.
So we'll see. We'll see.
It's
But it's
so
so far so good.
Okay.
The ending of that is like.
Well, I'm not at the end.
Stop.
I'm not at
No,
the
I'm
end.
just saying it's like what? Stop. All of Frida McFadden books are like that.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what book you're reading. Every
right.
ending is like.
For
That's a
the
great
audio
face.
listeners, Kailen just dropped her jaw.
I was just agape.
It was the agape phase.
I was agape.
All right. What are you reading, Kailen? Or have you read?
Okay. I have read.
What have you read?
Oh, I was like, of course, Kailen's read.
What have you
Or
read?
have you read? Yeah.
No. No judgment.
am a bit emotional.
Are you afloat in the sea of finishing series?
I have no Sarah J. Maas books left.
Do you want the
to
crying-
read.
Do you want the crying
I
sunglasses?
don't want them.
Okay.
You can have them for me. I have no books left to read
Well, she
until
better
she
get on that
releases
and
the
get
next
going.
one. Yeah. So, anyways, I finished House of Flame and Shadow, which is the third book of the Crescent City series. There is a fourth one coming out, but that won't be for a long time because she's writing ACOTAR now. So, don't know when the next Crescent City will be. Book was really, really good. When I was reading it, there was critique out there in the ether on social media and stuff about the main character kind of annoying people. But I had a part where I was kind of like, okay, let's move on, get your poop in a group. But otherwise, then she did it. And that's one of the things I like about SJM is she shows characters and their flaws and they're not always perfect. And so that was certainly the case with Bryce in this book. But one of the things that is another criticism of this book, and I also agree with, the whole book spans over 7 days.
What?
Yeah. And it should not be 7 days. The way that they're traveling across the world and like going from one like continent or island or whatever to another to like the northern area. It's like realistically this should not be 7 days. Yeah. So that was one critique I had of the book. It's a big book for 7 days.
Yeah, that's like 1,000 pages.
Yeah. So anyways, that was my critique of that book. I still gave it 5 out of 5 stars because I just really liked the story.
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
yeah. Then I read The Girl Who Was Taken by Charlie Donnelly. This was another 5-star read.
Oh.
I read it on Kindle, and it was a thriller mystery It was phenomenal. This was a free book. Free. It's for Prime reading, so not really free, but we have Prime, so free-ish. And I just picked it on a whim because it had high ratings, and it is so good. It has such a good twist. 2 girls go missing. One comes back, and one does not. And the
end.
That's it, yeah. The story, the investigator, I guess if you want to call her, is the girl who didn't come back's sister, and she is an forensic pathologist. So she does like autopsies and stuff. And the science, like anatomy part of it is really cool.
Had you started this one during our last podcast?
Yes.
Okay, it sounded familiar.
Yes. The ending is really, really good. There was several times throughout the book that I was like, I think it's this character. I think it's this character. I think it's this one. And it ended up being, I think I suspected the person. I think I didn't. I think I was back and forth. It was wishy-washy the whole time. So it was just really
like
good.
to pin anybody on
I don't
one
either.
person when I read a mystery book. I kind of want to be surprised.
I like doing the okay, I'm on page 98 and I think it's Joe. And then you go to page 100 and you're like, it's Kevin. And then you go to page 101 and it's like, no, it's Bob. Like every page I will choose a new person.
So at some point, I bet you were right.
I probably was right. Yeah. Then I read Do Not Disturb, which is another Frida McFadden. I don't need to go super in depth on that one. It was an audiobook. I gave it 4.25 out of 5 stars. And it was just another Frida McFadden. The ending was twisty and it was creepy. Well, not creepy, but a little bit creepy. Suspenseful. Yeah. And it was good. Then The Only One Left by Riley Sager. That one was posted on our social media on Instagram as my review. The review, I gave it, what did I say? So if you want to check out our reviews, we'll be posting them on social media periodically. All 3 of us will be putting reviews out for random ones that we read. I said, if you're looking for a plot filled with twists and turns and an Agatha Christie-esque ending, then this book is for you. It is a story about a caretaker who unravels the many layers of a long ago mystery, all while facing her own difficult past.
That was an audiobook for you said?
Yes.
I think that's one of the ones on Spotify that I wanted to listen to before they cut me off.
It is really good. There's a little poem in it that's, at 17, Lenora Hope hung her sister with a rope, stabbed her father with a knife, took her mother's happy life. It wasn't me, Lenora said, but she's the only one not dead. All is not what it seems in this book, is what I said about it. So anyways, that one was really good. I gave that one 4.5 out of 5. So I've had a lot of good, consistent, above 4-star reads. Maybe I'm just being not too picky, but
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Then Murder on the Links by Agatha Christie. It is number 2 in the Hercule Poirot series. And it featured his
assistant, his
sidekick, partner,
Captain Hastings.
Captain Hastings. And so that was fun to see his story. And
he adds a little humor and a little different twist.
And I like how Poirot's always like, you dummy. Like, you don't know anything.
Not always nice, no.
No.
It's kind of like Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Not always nice to the people around him.
Yep. But it was really good. The ending, in true Agatha style, was twisty, lots of
Was there poison?
turns. You're like, actually, there was 0 poison in this whole book.
I have a Sherlock Holmes and Agatha Christie joke for you.
Okay.
All right. So Sir Arthur Conan Doyle creates the world's greatest detective. Agatha Christie comes along and says, hold my tea. And Sir Arthur Conan Doyle says, why does this tea taste weird?
That's really good. I like it.
Because
it's poison.
It's poison.
Okay, it's not original. I read it today, but
That's good. I like
good.
that, though.
I like that. This tea tastes like cyanide.
And then currently I'm reading on audio Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. It is a mystery thriller. I started it like 2 days ago because I have a drive now that I can listen to audiobooks consistently. It's about a marriage that is failing. They go on a trip to try to
only
save
one
it.
comes back.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's seeming like.
Okay.
I don't know, but that's kind of what it's sounding like.
Just a prediction there.
I don't totally know a ton about it, but they are...
Well, next time you'll fill us in on the rest
Adam
of that
and
one.
Amelia Wright, and That's their name, and it's like something with the book. They said not all is right with the rights.
Oh,
Yeah.
play on words.
Yeah. And then this book, which I'm already I'm already slating it as a 5 out of 5 read for me. And I'm only
And what book is it?
167 pages. I was
What book
getting
is it?
there. I was getting there. I was building up suspense. Okay. The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. It's so cute. If you are a teacher, if you have ever taught kids, if you have ever worked with kids, if you like
You're a
just
mom of kids.
if you're a mom of kids, if you
Dad
like
of
just a
kids.
story about super cute characters, if you want a fun little gay love story, if you want just pure happiness and escapism, this is a book for you.
That sounds
I
miserable. Who would want
Love
that?
this book. And I have said that
I will tell you, she started reading it when I was with her, and approximately every 5 pages we'd get, oh, this book is so cute. This book is so good.
so good. There's this little amorphous blob kind of character that nobody knows what he is, and his aspiring dream is to be a bellhop. How cute is that?
I've heard a lot of giggles come
Yeah.
from her
And I
direction.
never laugh at books. I never do.
Is it the
And-
little?
Yep,
It's like-
yep, yep.
Cute.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm already recommending people to read that one, even though I'm not.
You haven't even
done
finished.
yet.
Is it a series or a standalone?
There's this one, and then there's a second one that I don't think is Oh yeah, we looked it up. There is one. Yeah, that's right. Look at you with your little knowing smile. Apparently it is. Yeah, there's.
I believe it's
another
a
one.
duology. I think we
Yes.
did look it up.
Okay, yeah, but that's all.
right.
Those are all the books.
Nice.
Ooh, that brings us to our kind of focus segment today, in which Ryne, resident movie guru,
Yes.
Ryne and Lauren watch a lot of movies and are movie geek experts
Yes.
here. And Ryan's been really, really, really wanting to take a movie that's made from a book and recast it. And he really wanted us to. And
We are not good at pop culture.
No.
characters.
You're not movie people as much
so
as
No.
we said, you do it. And then
will give you
we'll listen and
our
comment.
opinions.
Yeah.
So what book did you choose? Book/movie did you choose?
I went with a really unknown book. Not a lot of people have probably heard of it. It's called The Hunger Games.
I
May
believe
the
it's been
odds be ever in your favor.
Oh, so you have heard of it?
I believe it's
No, I
been
just came up with
previously
that.
discussed
Oh, really?
here on Paperback
Yeah.
Perspectives.
So I figured it was one that like everybody, or at least most people, know. Like the main characters, they know the story. They've probably read it or at least seen the movies, so they're familiar.
I'm sorry, but I haven't seen your list, but I don't know if you can cast a better Effie.
Effie was great.
Effie was great.
I think I actually maybe not better, but very similar.
Okay, well, I'm excited to see.
But I'm gonna get there
I'm
because
excited
there's
to
a
see.
couple like that.
All right, start us off.
So the reason I chose The Hunger Games is it's about 10 years old now. The first one I think came out in 2014, and so I was like, I think like that's kind of like a reboot-ish time. I think for like Hollywood, 'cause they're like, we need to make more money. So from like the main focus, I wanted to be like age similar actors. So like Katniss, I wanted her to be like a teen or like somewhere that young. So I went with a young actress named McKenna Grace, who she is a child star. She's been in a bunch of things. She was in the new Ghostbusters movies. She's been in like The Handmaid's Tale. She was in there for a little bit. But her biggest movie, she was in a movie called Gifted with Chris Evans, where she plays a young child prodigy, and he's a single dad. And it's basically like he's trying to figure out how to raise her, and she is just phenomenal. She's adorable. And now she's 18, and so like Lauren and I were talking about
Can
this
she
last
whistle?
night. She can sing, so I'm assuming she can whistle.
Okay.
That's a weird assumption.
Well,
Kailen can sing, but she can't whistle.
I can whistle.
Oh,
whistle. She
Okay.
whistled.
just kidding. I thought you could.
Wow.
Oh no, you can't wink.
I can't wink.
Okay,
yeah,
that's
you
what it
can't
is. Okay.
So I think she'd be good. Lauren and I think that she could do like that, like gritty kind of like badassery-ness where she could like kill you, but also like people could like rally behind her. Like
Be
she's
your
like-
friend.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
For
I like that.
Gail, we went with Caleb McLaughlin, who plays. I just totally blanked on his name, but he's the black kid in Stranger Things. I totally
Oh.
forgot his name. in Stranger Things.
I like that but people don't really like Gale.
Well, I think he can kind of play that like tough, like macho soldier person, but he's
Yeah.
also relatable and like.
I like it.
I think he would give
he looks
like
nicer
a
than
unique.
Gale was.
I think he can also play like.
I can
kind
see
of a
it.
dick.
I think it's yeah.
Okay.
So,
All
yeah,
right.
I
So
think
that's
that would be
Gale.
really good.
Okay.
My favorite casting that we came up with is actually fully from Lauren's brain, and I was really struggling with this one because I couldn't find a good PETA, because PETA's kind of a bum, and he's kind of a goober, and you don't really like think
He's not
gonna do
supposed
anything.
to be great. Like,
Yeah, so we went with Charlie Hiscock is his name. He is Charlie Hiscock, but for those of you, who, it's his cock. Like
Can
chicken.
you use it in a sentence, please?
Stop.
No. I think that people who are a fan of Ted Lasso know him better as Will the Kit Man,
Will.
and he is just an absolute blumbering, adorable idiot in Ted Lasso.
a great
And
pick.
we think this is straight from Lauren's brain. It's literally perfect because
I can see that.
people will like him, but I feel like he can also like get dolled up and like wear the suit and be kind of like the stooge kind
The
of
big
thing.
presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do the whole District 1 schmoozing. Like, I'm going to
Yeah.
get them on my side.
Yep, exactly. And so if you haven't seen Ted Lasso, first of all, what are you doing? It's an amazing show, my favorite show of all time probably. But he is just so fun in this show.
I like it.
Perfect Lauren casting, so shout out Lauren.
Good one, Lauren.
For Haymitch, I went with David Harbour, who kind of going again with the Stranger Things theme.
Haymitch, also original casting, was also great.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
But David Harbour, who's the sheriff in Stranger Things,
Oh.
I feel like he would do well because he can kind of play the slobbery drunk.
Yes,
kind
which
of
he kind of
bum.
does.
He
in
kind of
Stranger
looks
Things.
like Woody Harrelson in
A
a
little
little
bit.
bit. You
Yeah.
know.
But he can also be like a good like father figure for them and be like a good mentor. I feel like once he cleans himself up.
I like it.
So
That was a good
that's
one.
him.
You guys are really good at this.
Thank you. For President Snow, this was really hard. Rest in peace, Donald Sutherland, because he was literally perfect for Snow.
Yeah.
I went with J.K. Simmons for Snow because I feel like he's very
Nice.
I don't know who that is.
commanding. You do.
You will when you see
You
his
will when
Okay.
you see him. He was
Oh.
Jonah J. Jameson in the Spider-Man movies. He was the music teacher in Whiplash. He's playing Santa Claus in a new movie coming up, and he's absolutely shredded.
Wow.
And he's got like a big bushy beard, which I feel like works for President Snow as well. It's right there in the top middle left one, Sam.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
That.
Wow.
Yeah. He's 69 years old,
He
which
would be a
if you
good
look
Jon
at him, Jon Snow,
Oh, sorry. Game of Thrones on the brain.
President Snow. So yeah, J.K.
don't think we know his first name.
I think would be good because he
Sorry.
can be really mean if you need him to.
Oh yeah.
Cinna was really tough because again, perfect casting. Lenny Kravitz was amazing.
Oh, okay. I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't read Game of Thrones. Well, okay, we're going to just assume you've read Game of... Oh,
Hunger Games. Not everything is Game of
Oh
Thrones.
boy.
Okay. I know. Okay.
I'm going to just say it because you should have read Hunger Games by now.
Or at least seen the movies.
Or
maybe.
seen the movies. And you, like, it's
They're 10
so
years old.
popular. When Cinna died, my heart shattered.
Heartbreaking.
Shattered. And I know there's, like, death all over the movies, but that one was, like... So that was like the hardest one.
Well, because it's
like-
right before she goes up.
And it's like the only
Into the
person who has
games.
ever showed her kindness. She
Like,
didn't
from
get
the
kindness and
Capitol.
love from her
Yeah.
mom. She didn't get kindness and she took care of Prim.
Yeah.
She's never had anyone to show her kindness and,
And
love.
he came
like
from the capital, which is just
Yeah.
like, yeah. And so, so Lenny Kravitz again, impossible to replace in that role. I went with Jesse Williams, who played Jackson Avery in Grey's Anatomy.
Oh.
Because he kind of gives off similar vibes to Lenny Kravitz. He can pull off the like stylish fashion
He's
person.
Yep.
He is very attractive.
He's the
His
guy
eyes are
in
beautiful.
Only Murders too, right?
Yes,
Yes,
he's in
he
Only
is.
Murders. He was the
Those eyes are amazing.
motion capture guy in the Detroit video game.
Oh, I haven't played that.
I don't remember the full name of it, but it was like,
Detroit Become Human.
yes, Detroit Become Human, where it was like an ever branching like AI story, and he played like the main robot guy. Anyway, it's really good.
We're nodding.
For Effie,
Sure.
I have two choices for Effie, and Lauren
Oh,
helped
do
me
we
with
get to
this
vote?
Oh,
one. Yeah, you guys can vote.
Okay.
Cast.
The first one is Kristen Wiig,
Okay.
who is from SNL.
Hey, you're
She
like
is
pick the
also
person
a-
I know who it is.
She's the weird
Fantastic.
Barbie.
No, that's Kate McKinnon.
Oh, okay.
You're thinking of Kate McKinnon. She would also be
She
a
would
really,
also be a
really
good
good
Same
one.
thing to it.
But Kristen Wiig she was in Bridesmaids.
Oh, she's the Target Circle girl.
She's Target. I think she would be a perfect blend of like quirky weirdness, but also like really good at being dramatic and serious. Because if you haven't seen Skeleton Twins, oh my god, that movie's beautiful.
Who was this for?
This is why we have you doing the movie scene.
This was for
'cause
Effie. So Kristen Wiig. My other choice, which Lauren brought up as well, was Maya Rudolph. Kind of on the same vein.
You shouldn't have told us who picked who, because now
As
it's going to be like
their-
we're playing favorites.
Well, your favorite is Lauren. It's fine. But Maya Rudolph, again, SNL, quirky, weird, but also a beautiful, dramatic actress. She's amazing. I just think they would both be really fun in the role of Effie. And they have, obviously, with SNL comedy backgrounds, no problems going over the top.
Yeah.
So, who do you think? Who do you love more? Me or Lauren? 3, 2, 1, go.
Weird Barbie.
Maya Rudolph.
I think I like Kristen Wiig better.
I like
There we
Maya
go.
Rudolph better, personally.
There we go.
And Maya Rudolph, Sam.
I like Weird Barbie.
That's not even Kristen Wiig. That's Kate McKinnon.
I know, but I think she would be awesome.
She would be awesome.
Yeah.
She'd be really good.
Kailen, who didn't want to do a recast of a movie, is now overriding the cast of the movie.
Sam, look up Weird Barbie girl.
It's Kate McKinnon.
Okay, I don't know names of people.
It's okay. Ryne might have mentioned it.
Okay, I know, but like I was not listening.
No, I like Maya Rudolph there. I'm with her.
She kind of looks like...
She's already Effie.
Yeah, Weird Barbie
Okay,
looks
that
like
that
Effie.
does, yeah, have some merit.
It's a little makeover, but yeah.
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 I think Kate McKinnon would be really good. And then the last one that I did was Caesar Flickerman.
Welcome to the 75th
And
Hunger
In the
Games.
end, I went with Stanley Tucci. Because you can't replace him. He's literally perfect.
Yeah,
That's
I was
who
like-
that's who played him in the or who played
it's okay.
Caesar
We can
Flickerman
bring him
in the
back.
Hunger
We
Games.
can bring him back.
But if this is a true recasting with everybody new and whatever, if we can't go Stanley Tucci, I decided on Jonathan Groff,
I know who that is.
who he played the king
Yep.
in Hamilton. He was in Mindhunter. He is Kristoff in
That
the
would be
Frozen
really,
movies.
really
He's
good.
so good at facial expressions that I
Yeah.
could see him being really good
He's
at
very
that.
Yeah.
theatrical, over the top.
Because
He's
the
on
best
Broadway.
part about Caesar Flickerman is no matter what has happened, he can be in a nuclear situation and he has that sleazy smile
Yeah.
on his face. And I feel like he would do really well with that.
Yeah,
Well-
Lauren did make a good point about how she thinks Caesar Flickerman should be a little bit older than Jonathan Groff, which I kind of agree with. So that's why I'm like, just
They could make him look older.
bring back Stanley Tucci.
There we go. Well
And
done,
he
you
did
guys.
fantastic.
Perfect.
Well done.
Literally perfect.
Those
Thank
are
you.
great
Thank
Well
you.
done.
This is my little movie nerd out.
Is your
moment.
heart happy
Thank
that you got to do that?
So happy. I've been
All right.
chomping at the bit to do this since we started. So
I know
thank
you
you
have.
for tolerating me.
All right.
Who were you most confident in your pick for?
Ooh, most confident in my pick? All of them? Because I'm awesome?
You got
I like
the
it.
Weird Barbie wrong, but
Yeah.
the rest of them were good.
All right, well, you can. I think Lauren's pick as Will the Kitman, or Charlie Hiscock as PETA, is beautiful. I also think that McKenna Grace would just be a perfect Katniss. I think she just brings that energy.
Well, there you got your kind of main character, so it's
Yeah.
good to nail those.
So I think we did it.
I was going to do that too.
Whoever made the movie the first time, I'm available. If you want me to work as a casting director, call me.
And they can buy a pickup while they're at it.
And they can buy my 2011 GMC Sierra pickup.
Or trade it for mole removal. Gopher type, not
No.
skin type. Okay.
I also want to say that in Catching Fire, I can't remember her Joanna. The character Joanna,
Oh, yep.
she was phenomenal.
The one
when
who
she got undressed in the
stripped
elevator.
in the elevator?
That was such a good scene.
Beautiful moment.
Yeah. Anyways, that was random, but
That's okay.
Great movies.
yeah.
okay.
That's that's a rare instance that those movies are
The book.
respectable to the book.
Yes.
Obviously can't include every detail,
Yep.
but they give a good storytelling
Yes.
of
Yes.
following along.
Yep.
And I just did it better. So, Mom, let's do
Yes.
your indie bookstore roadmap.
Ooh, Kailen and I wanted to each highlight an indie bookstore based on the fact that when we were at the lake, which is not one lake, we stopped in Grand Rapids, Minnesota at a... Wait, I'm telling about the other one, but
okay.
I can
No,
tell you about
it's
this. At Grand Rapids, Minnesota, and one of the things we picked up there was this Midwest Indie Bookstore Roadmap, and it highlights some indie bookstores in the Midwest. Haha,
Can I see
like
the
how
back?
that goes. And they also have a contest that you can enter, which we unfortunately didn't know about till after we had
Yeah.
left because we didn't read our little brochure till the way home. So
Kind of ironic that
I
a
guess we have
reading
to go-
podcast didn't read.
I guess we have to go back. Well, we couldn't.
There's
we-
monthly
anyway.
prizes, and you can be entered to win a drawing for a $500 gift card.
Fantastic.
Wow.
So you pretty much just go visit those indie bookstores, take a picture, and then post them online with a hashtag bookstore roadmap, and then you
Yeah.
can be entered for.
And there is a
prizes.
website. If you look up Midwest 2024 Indie Book Map, you will come to their website. Maybe we can put it in the notes. So we're going to feature 2 of those bookstores that are on the map. And so I'm going to talk about Main Street Books in Minot, North Dakota. If you're ever in Minot, it's a fantastic bookstore. It's
got the perfect creaky floor.
It has creaky floors. It has an amazing children's section. If you're looking for kids' books, oh my gosh, they have so many in there. So cute. And they have a section where they...
Sam just smacked his head on the ceiling.
Sorry.
Oh, we've lost it. Okay. You can hear Kayla's wheezing through the microphone.
All right. They feature local authors.
It's a horrible.
They have an amazing newsletter. So if you are interested in an email newsletter that talks about books that are coming out, would you two stop? Lauren, make them stop.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
The newsletter comes weekly. The person that writes it is a great writer. She highlights new books that are coming out and also will sometimes pick a theme and work books around that. I won't look over that. They also have a rewards program that you can sign up for. So once you're buying books, you earn money towards future books. I could keep talking about this one because Kaylen's not going to be able to talk about
No,
hers.
I got it.
Okay.
I need to talk about something else.
Okay.
Okay. She already mentioned it, but we went to Grand Rapids, and at that one, it's called Wildflower Bookshop, and it's a fairly new bookstore actually. So, we really want to support it because we want it to like thrive, and it's such
When
a
we go to the lake, we want to go to a
want to
bookstore.
go to a bookstore. And it's already such a cute community in Grand Rapids. Like I think it fits the town, the bookstore, and it has a really great selection of books. Like we were just going through the shelves and we're just, I want this one and this one and this one. And Cindy, who was with us, was like,
Sam, what's your name?
should I get 2? Or
Yes,
and we were
the
like,
answer is yes.
On the whole drive up to the lake, we were talking about our physical TBRs that we have, and we were like, there's so many. We have so many books. And then we get there and we're both...
We both said we don't need to buy any more books.
I look at her and I go, I shouldn't get this book. She goes, why? It's like, oh, okay, I'll get it.
We went there twice.
We did go there twice.
Bought books both times.
I didn't the second time.
That was amazing self-control.
I know.
That's because I bought a book you want.
Yeah. Then it's basically 50%
It's a trap.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, that one's really cute. So if you're ever in the area of Grand Rapids, there's a lot of like smaller lakes around the area. So if you want to drive over to Grand Rapids and see the bookshop, they have a rewards program, and they actually have really cool staff picks sections where their staff pick their favorite books. They also have really cool reading challenges that they had posted. They had
know.
like one per month. And
I wanted to live there and be able to do the reading challenge.
I know. In June, it would be come in and get a book that's about summer or something. And then they'll give you a bunch of books about summer, and you can get one, and then you like write I don't know what it was, but
You get a stamp or there was
report?
something.
something like that. 1,000 words.
Jesus.
But anyways,
Due on Thursday
yeah.
before the spelling test.
Yes. But it was so cute. So check it out. And actually, that's the one I have connected
Fun
to my
fact.
Libro.fm.
It's across the street from Unwind. Play on words, UNWINED, Unwind up north, which is also a fun place to check out.
And delicious. They have really good apps.
So you can get books and apps and wine.
Nice.
It's a beautiful combination.
It really is.
Should we wrap it up with our recommendations then?
Yeah, I can start.
Go for it.
So both of mine are slightly SJM adjacent since I've had my little SJM current reads funeral.
On a dark note.
Yeah. Anyways, this one it doesn't have to be Sarah J. Maas, but it's a candle company called strangewicks.com. And they have candles that are book related. They're bookish. So there's Harry Potter ones.
Would you say the name of that again?
Strangewicks.com. They have an Etsy store. They have a website. They have a Harry Potter.
Everybody's giftful list just got a little fuller.
Yep.
Well, that's a cute
Harry Potter.
website.
Harry Potter.
Harry
Potter.
Harry
Are these
Potter.
the ones we saw in that bookstore?
Sam, there's a Jon Snow candle.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
Does it smell like just a hot
Jon
man?
Snow.
Jon Snow. You're not nothing, Jon Snow.
So, anyways, there's Game of Thrones. There's random categories that aren't book
Rhys.
related. There's
That's
a
Rhys.
there's a Rhys. There's a Night Court one. There's a Valeris one.
I just had a birthday.
Cassian,
Why didn't anybody buy me one of
Nesta.
these?
Okay.
They even have little mobiles that you put on top of the calendar. So you guys,
Candle.
the candle.
Words are hard.
Hard. I worked today. Okay.
Welcome to Kaylen's new life in which she has to go to work.
So then you can see the mobile over there on the Night Court candle. And so when the lights are off, it shines like Valeris shadows on your wall. Isn't that cool?
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's a small business. I'm actually pretty sure they're based out of Tennessee. And one of the towns that we went to was where they were supplying them, one of the little indie bookstores
Really?
there. So,
Can we all make a plan to buy each other one for Christmas?
Yes.
yes. Okay. Woo.
Christmas list
Fun.
activated.
So that was one of mine. And then my other one is it's an actual account on Instagram or TikTok. And it's my favorite fan artist of all SJM stuff. She also does some other art, but she primarily does SJM. And it's Mads Schofield. So it's MADS SCHO Field FIELD. And she does a perfect rendering of what I picture the characters. And that helps me a lot when I'm trying to picture the characters and what they look like and what the different like communities look like in SJM too, or the different continents and what they're represent. And they're so good. Right now she's doing a Throne of Glass portrait series where she's doing a ton of Throne of Glass portraits.
I think the 13 was being featured right now.
They are currently being featured, yes. Yep.
Whoa.
What?
That's a spicy poster there. No.
We'll scroll past that.
Woohoo.
We'll go to there's a baby.
But look at Cassian.
All right.
So anyways, that's mine.
Okay. Ryan, what do you have?
I have two as well. Mine are not book adjacent. My first one is my favorite band of all time. Released an album in the last couple of weeks. They are Lawrence, the band. LAWRENCE. Their new album, Family Business, just came out. They're going on tour. I get to go see them in a couple of months, and you have no idea how excited I am. But they're like soul pop / funk is like the best way I can describe it. And it's just, they're amazing. If you haven't listened to them yet, please, it's just fun, upbeat music, super awesome, incredible. I listened to this album, what did I say, 4 times the day it came out. I just put it on at work on a loop and just listened to it over and over and over and over again. And I still do that, and it doesn't get old, and they're amazing. Go check them out.
A little serotonin boost.
Absolutely. They're so fun. And then my second one.
Or dopamine. Does serotonin put you to sleep?
Yes, it does.
Okay, dopamine. I was like, wait a minute.
You're a doctor of medical things, right?
Not hormones or whatever that is. Neurotransmitters.
And then my second one is something that I stumbled across when I was looking at some John Boy Media things. One of their employees, Ryan Cohen, he mentioned that I was just kind of like going through stuff, and he mentioned that he worked for like a camp, like a summer camp at some point. So on one of his Instagram posts, I stumbled across it. And it's called Camp Kesem, Kesem. And so I just wanted to see more about it because he's a really positive guy. He seems like a really good dude. So I just wanted to learn more about it. And they are a nonprofit organization that provides free camps for children to go to whose parents have cancer or have passed away from cancer. And they are all college student led. The closest one we have here is in Minnesota. I think it's in the cities. We don't have one here in North Dakota, unfortunately. But it's free for any family. They apply, they go there, and their goal is just to let these kids who have experienced horrible things in their life just be kids.
Cute.
And just have fun. And so they're looking for donations. Like I said, it's a nonprofit. I think I saw on their website they've raised over like $3 million, and their goal is $5 million just to keep providing these camps around the country for people. I think they're in 44 of the 50 states right now. So if you have a couple spare bucks and you want to donate to them, go for it. I think I'm gonna give them a little bit of something that I have this month, and then
Give them a pickup.
Would you like a GMC Sierra 2011 slight
Fit 8 kids.
cosmetic
in the back.
issues? But yeah, Camp Kesem, Kesem.
Cool.
It's just really cool mission, and yeah.
All right.
Your turn.
Before I share this week's recommendation or this chapter's, I'm going to flash back. Last time I recommended Kitling Books, which is a blog all about books and all kinds of things. And after our shout out, she included a link and conversation about our podcast. So that was really cool to be included on that. I was a little fangirl over that. Like, oh, I'm in the Kitling Books.
That's
I was
really
at
cool.
letter.
I was at the lake and she goes, and I was like, what? Look it.
We're on the
Blog.
We're on the post. So, since I'm on a blog high, I have another blog that I'm sharing this week. I've actually met the person who does this blog, which makes it maybe cooler. But the blog is called Meanwhile Back at the Ranch, and it is written by Jesse Veter, who is an artist, a musician, and writer who's involved in many, many things. Meanwhile Back at the Ranch, I think it's veterranch.com is the website.
You could probably just look up Jesse Veter.
And she's just one of the most entertaining people that I've ever been around. I've been to several of her concerts, and she tells stories and sings folk music and is just phenomenal. And her blog makes me laugh out loud almost every week and once in a while tear up. So it's one of those, I see it in my inbox and I wait till the end of the day to go to it and get a little highlight in the day. So that's one of her albums. Yep, if you go to the blog, it'll show. So that's mine.
Well, ain't that
All right.
just the cutest little thing you ever seen?
I know. So she's hilarious. Very funny things. So Kailen, we're going to give us a shout out on the socials.
Yeah, so Instagram, paperback_perspectives. Like I said, we'll be posting some reviews, not all the books that we read, but every now and then we'll post one of us three, a book that we have read, and our little blurb, what we thought about it, ratings, stuff like that. Ryne will also be posting them on Twitter or X, paperback_pod. So he'll put the little blurbs on there too, just kind of what the book was about, the genre. And then TikTok, paperback.pod. TikTok's been a little bit quiet lately. I've really done the TikTok, but you can still go there if you want.
Hit us a follow and ring that bell so you know when we do post.
It might happen.
We'll see. Be the first to know.
There'll be at least one more post before this podcast ends for good. So who knows?
Oh, okay. Okay.
YouTube is Paperback Perspectives. And then email, again, if you have any questions, any like book requests, not requests.
You're having a great time with words.
Podcasts
You know what?
are really good
Give us
for
a
people who
request.
can't
If we've
come
read
up
one and
with
we're done with it, we'll share it.
Okay. Paperbackperspectives@gmail.com.
All right.
Nice.
That was fantastic.
Podcasts are really good for people who can't find words at the end of a work day.
You're doing great. Just
I
wait.
almost said at the end of a word day.
Oh my gosh.
Let's get out of here.
It'll get better.
I'll
All
cut her
right.
mic off.
Okay, as always, we would like to thank Sam, our engineer, top researcher, sound guy, and everything else, and we hope he's not too concussed. Also, thank Lauren, who does all the groundwork and running around, and I think has some merch coming for us to show off on our next episode.
Sure does.
What?
Yeah. So, and a big thank you to the people that have listened. It is so fun to run into friends and family and new people and have conversations about it. And thanks to my cousins, my friends, my coworkers.
Yeah, like I have friends who they ask me like, "When's the next episode coming out?" And I'm just like, "Wait, what?
I kind of cringe and embarrassed because I'm like, oh my gosh, you listened to that? But a part of me is like, well, that's really fun.
Cool, but
Sorry. No. Okay, we're true North Dakota apologists.
yeah.
That have to not accept praise well. But thanks to everybody that's listened. That makes it really fun for us. So until the next chapter.
Until the next chapter.
Until the next chapter.
This is Paperback Perspectives.